Gary's mother kept Christy from the time she was a baby till she started to school. And one day I picked her up, and she was just a little over 2 years old, and she said, "Jennifer shot that man." And I thought, and I called my mother later, and I said, "Does one of the soap operas have a Jennifer on it?" And she said, "Yeah." So that's what Christy was talking about, because they watched the soap operas every day. But my mother-in-law was Maggie Marie Stutts Stewart, and she was somewhat of a mathematician. She had 5 children. My husband is the oldest. His birthday is December the 21st. The youngest of the 5, her birthday is December the 21st. There's a son's birthday that's September the 13th, a daughter that's October the 13th, and then there's Jesse that's here. She had him the month that she was born, in May. So he was born in May on his mother. So I often kidded and said she stopped where she started, because she had them the same day. I feel the touch of hands so kind and tender. They're leading me in paths that I must trod. I'll have no fear, for Jesus walks beside me. For I'm sheltered in the arms of God. So let the storms rage high, the dark clouds rise. They won't worry me, for I'm sheltered safe within the arms of God. He walks with me, and naught of earth shall harm me, for I'm sheltered in the arms of God. Soon I shall hear the call from heaven's portals. Come home, my child. It's the last mile you must trot. I'll fall asleep, but I'll wake in God's new heaven, sheltered safe within the arms of God. So let the storms rage high, the dark clouds rise. They won't worry me, for I'm sheltered safe within the arms of God. He walks with me, and naught of earth shall harm me, for I'm sheltered in the arms of God. Yes, I'm sheltered in the arms of God.
Morning. Like Becky's already said, I was the oldest child of 5. My mother was an only child for 18 years. And then apparently Grandma and Grandpa figured out what caused her, and they had 3 more. Just boom, 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 right in a row. But they had 2 families. And I have very fond memories of my childhood, my mother, my dad. We were born and raised in Hall River, the great metropolis. I always said New York City would have been bigger if it had been closer to Hall River. But my mom, she was a stay-at-home mom. She never worked. She took care of the kids, and my two uncles and my aunt were my age. And my uncle was 9 months older than me. My other uncle and aunt were younger than I was. So Mama took care of all 8 of us because her parents' health had given out on them early in life. Both of them passed away in their early 60s. But my mom, she liked animals also. She had dogs, cats. She had a squirrel one time named Cleo. And I remember my grandfather come up there one day, and he had bent in his elbow right much, and had had a little bit more than he should have and run over the squirrel cage. And the squirrel got out, and Mama liked to have a fit, trying to catch a squirrel. But my mom, she liked to fish, and she would take us down on the creek, down on Hall River Hopedale Road at Boyd's Creek, and we would go down there and fish. She did most of the fishing, and as Jesse could tell you, we run around, played in the water. We fished a little bit, but as we got older, we realized that, we was probably fishing for supper, so we got a little more into it. My mother, she loved the beach. We would go to the beach once a year as a family, and my brothers and my sisters and my mom and my 2 uncles and aunt, we would go and pick blackberries, and then we would take them up to one place I remember was Fountain Place in Burlington, because back then that's where all the millionaires, we thought, lived. And we would peddle those blackberries from house to house, selling those. And we would take out enough money to get us a pack of cheese crackers and a pack of nabs and a drink, and the rest of it went into the beach pot. And that's the way we went to the beach every year. My dad worked all the time. He fed 12 of us, but I have very fond memories. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and like Becky said, I was the oldest, the baby sister. Her and I were born on the same day, 11 years apart. And Jesse, my brother sitting here, he was the middle child. And I always kind of looked at him as a pivotal point as to where they wanted to go on or stop, But they went on, and I'm so happy they did. But she was a good mom. She took care of us. And we got some of those circle weapons that you've heard about here. But, my dad never whipped me but one time, as I can remember. And my mom never whipped us very often. And I don't know whether we grew up being afraid of our parents, loving them enough to respect them. But we never got many whippings. We just didn't. My dad, I being the oldest, he would ask me to do something. And maybe I would not do it right away or look at him like, me? But Dad would ask a second time. And that second time was different than the first time. And my mom, the only time I can remember my dad whipping me was my mom was going to whip me for something, and I took off running. We went down in the pasture where we had a camp, and I stayed down there most of the day. I come home at night that afternoon. Mama never said nothing to me. I said, I got it made. That's when Daddy come home, and as far as I can remember, that's the only whipping my dad ever gave me. But I respected that whipping. And I love my mom. She did a lot of things with us as kids. And but I'll tell you this. If you got a mom today, you go see her. Because out of the group of people that's in here right now, a lot of us don't have moms anymore. But if you have, you go see her. And you put your arms around her. You love her. You know, getting up here saying something like this is extremely hard. Alfred, I prayed for you, brother. But I did love you, Bob.